Shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the men of the Lord who's pushing this word, this truth, this wisdom, this knowledge, and the understanding of the scriptures throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. Shalom to the sisters who's just sitting back, watching, paying attention, and learning in silence. Shalom. This lesson today is going to go into uproars of the people. And if you open your computer and you go to YouTube and you choose any country and you just Google uproar, just put in uproars of the people, you will see that there's sedition amongst the people. There is wars, within the people. And, people are just going against their government because right now the governments of these countries are slack. They're just doing pure madness, man. And just when you look, you see just pure foolishness happening. But let me show you some clips. And after I show you these clips, I'm going to get into some precepts. So I have a couple here, and this one is 8. This is 2024. This is in the UK.
They are scenes that are now happening daily in towns and cities across the country. In Bristol, there were clashes as police tried to keep apart a group of far-right protesters and a much larger.
This is Hong Kong.
Would be staying and living at, waiting for the visa to go to France or to go to the US. And so in a way,
this also is...
You wanted to divide them, you wanted to separate us. So we look divided.
For years we've...
what more do you want to see, right? There's uproars amongst the people. The people are going crazy, man. But yeah, let me get into some precepts and just to see what's going on. So first, this is 2nd Ezra 9 and verse 1. And it reads, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the Most High will begin to visit the world which he had made." And we know that the Most High is not going to come down from his throne and come into the earth to visit the world. So how does the Most High visit the world? Through his angels. He uses his angels to visit the world. And also the prophets of the Lord is here doing the work of the Most High, right? And it says, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou will understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." It says, "For as like all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest," right? So we know that right now, as I showed you before, there is sedition among men, right? There's uproars of the people, right? And the same thing that the Most High told Ezra right here back then is the same thing he's telling us right now. And how do we know that he's telling us the same thing right now? Go to Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 9. So when you go to Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 9, it reads, the thing that hath been, meaning what the Most High told Ezra back then, which is that thing that hath been, right? It is that which shall be, meaning that same thing that was then, that the Most High told Ezra, is the same thing that is going to be right now, right? And that which is done, meaning that thing that was done when Ezra was on the earth, is that which shall be done, meaning that same thing that happened when Ezra was around is that same exact thing that's going to happen now. So we know that there was sedition and uproars amongst the people back then. So the same thing that happened then is the same exact thing that's going to happen now in our lifetime. And there is no new thing under the sun, meaning there's nothing new under the sun. Things that were before is the same thing that is now. Let me get a preset real quick. This one wasn't preset, so let me just grab this. One sec. This is Romans 15 and verse 4. Let me open this. Romans 15 and verse 4. It reads, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. Right? So the things that were written aforetime is written for our learning. So we have to read the scriptures, Old and New Testament, to actually learn what happened back then, knowing that the same thing is going to happen again right now. So Ezra, the same thing that happened to Ezra, we take that and we learn from that, and that thing is going to happen again now. So we will know how to handle it when it happens, right? So back to Ecclesiastes. So is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new, it hath been already of old time, which was before us, right? So like I said, the thing that happened to Ezra back then, it's not even a new thing to Ezra, because it happened before that again. It happened in Ezra time, and it's going to happen in our time, as we see uproars amongst the people all over the world. I can open YouTube right now. Let me just do another one just to show you that this is not a joke. All right, when you go to I don't have to do anything, right? I don't have to do anything because it's right here. Britain burns. Nigeria protests live. Like, it's everywhere. Let's check this out. Venezuela. I don't have to do anything but just put Venezuela and you see it. Venezuela, look at that. The people are fed up with the entire system, the entire government of the world. Everywhere you look, it's just madness, uproars of the people, sedition among men. So we know that the time is at hand. Let me jump into that precept, right? This is 2nd Ezra 15. I'm going to start at verse 14. It reads, woe to the world, and woe means destruction. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So we know that sword is pretty much a killing instrument. Any type of killing instrument, whether it be a knife, whether it be a gun, whether it be a missile, whatever killing instruments you have, that is considered a sword, right? In this instance, the sword is speaking of the Esau Edom, man. It says, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, for there shall be sedition among men, as we saw just now in all those videos, and invading one another, right? They shall not regard their kings. Like the madness that we're seeing, the craziness that we're seeing, there's no respect for their leadership, no respect for their prime minister, no respect for their kings, no respect for their princes, their presidents, no respect. The people have lost all respect and all confidence in their governments because we realize that the governments mean the people no good, right? But our job is not to go out there and protest and go crazy and do wild and mad things that these people are doing. Our protest is through the scriptures. We are using the scriptures, these precepts, to protest against this kingdom, right? That is what we're using to protest these kingdoms, the scriptures, right? And verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. Like right now, you have this guy this guy in Jamaica. He's from Venezuela. He's been in Jamaica for 7 years, right? But Jamaica has recently told him that, bro, you got to go home. Your stay in Jamaica have expired, right? And he bought his ticket to go home last week. Come to find out, he can't enter into his own country because there's no way to get in, because Panama, which is the way he can get in, has closed all borders with Venezuela and Colombia as well, right? So he can't even get into his own country. It says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, and which is exactly what is happening to this man right here, right? And can you imagine how many other people this is happening to that we don't know about, right? It says, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, right? The houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. And who's afraid right now? The people in the city who's protesting, they're afraid. The governments are all scared as well because they don't know what the people what the people are going to do. They don't, right? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and shall spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And we see this happening right now, especially in Venezuela and in Haiti, right? Yeah, man. Let's jump into another precept. So this is Luke. All right, so this is Luke 21, and I want to start at verse 20. Let me start at verse 20, right? And when he shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh, right? Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land and wrath upon the people, right? And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captives into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Now, I read that from 20 to 24 just to get context. So we know that Jerusalem was trodden down in the year 70 AD, and it was taken over by the Gentiles being the Romans, you know what I'm saying? Esau, Edom. And since then, Jerusalem, the land, have been run and ruled by, you know, these heathens, right? And it says in verse 24, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captives into all nations. So we know that the children of Israel was led into all nations as captives, right? We were scattered all across the four corners of the earth according to the scriptures in Deuteronomy, right? And Jerusalem, which is the land, shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, right? Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So we know that the land of Jerusalem is filled with Gentiles right now, and they're destroying that place. We know that. But this also is synonymous to the people, because Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. So we know that the Gentiles, which is you Edomites, in fact, all the nations, right, have been trodden down, have been busting the asses, have been kicking the butts of the Israelites from day one. So you guys have been trodden down the children of Israel, Jerusalem. We know that you guys have been trodden down Jerusalem, right? And it says here, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down, which is right. The land of Jerusalem is being trampled down right now with you heathens. The people, which is Jerusalem, also is being trodden down by you Gentiles, right? And it says, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So your time is fulfilled. Your time has expired. It is over for you guys. No more. Your time is done, right? It says the devil knoweth he has a short time, right? And it says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of nations, as I showed you just now in Venezuela, in Haiti, in Britain. And that's just a few. Distress of the people. The people are tired of the foolishness, of the fuckery that you guys have been doing, right? With perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, and the sea is synonymous to the people, and the people are roaring. The people are going crazy. The people are protesting. The people are wilding out because the governments of these countries are close to the fulfillment of the prophecy, man. Wow. And verse 26, it says, men's heart failing them for fear, because they don't know what's going to happen. So they are living in fear. And for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Verse 27, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with power and great glory. So when you see the Son of Man coming in the clouds, that means he's coming in the chariot with great power, as we know, right? And great glory. And what is his purpose? He's coming here to do what? To kill, to destroy you wicked people, man, right? And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. And this is speaking of the elect. The elect redemption is right here. It is close. So this is what it's talking about. It's not talking about the entire world. It's not talking about, who accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. It's not talking about none of that. It's talking about the redemption of the Israelite and the elect of Israel. Just a number of just 1/3 of the Israelites, because 2/3 are you going to be destroyed, right? Let me read that again. And when they see these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your head, for your redemption draweth nigh, right? And this is a parable that was spoken by Yahushua. And it says, and he spake to them in parable, behold the fig tree and all the trees. When, I think that's it. Yeah, that is it. Yeah, man. And pretty much that's what I wanted to get into today, uproars of the people, because when you turn your computer on, all you're seeing is just uproars of the people. Uproars in Venezuela, uproars in Haiti, uproars in America, uproars in British, uproars in Canada, right? When you look in Cuba, there's uproars in Cuba. In fact, the government shut down their bank account the other day. They had no access to no money. So we know what's going on in the world, and the people are protesting. The people are angry, right? So right now there is uproars of the people and sedition amongst the people, right? And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakadash, and double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the men of the Lord who's pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the brothers in Toronto. Shalom to all the sisters who's just sitting back and watching, paying attention. Shalom.